Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our wrestling podcast. So, without further ado, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall, and today's topic, the return, of CM Punk.
Welcome to the O.W.P. This is our wrestling podcast. This is Dave along with Jess.
Hello, David.
And Cuz.
Hey guys, I gotta go. Something came up.
What? Really? You fucking begged us to be on this podcast this week because of what we're talking about.
So what we're referencing is we all three texted, and this is normally Cuz's off week, right? So when we told him what the topic was going to be, which Dave will get to in a second,
sure,
Cuz is like all about it. Like it's his his forte.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
even on my off week, I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna do it. And then about 5 minutes before we hit record, he sends us a text going like, "Something came up, guys. Go on without me." So I'm gonna preface this by saying I hope it wasn't an emergency because I'll feel really bad by saying that, and we probably can't air this episode if that happens. But if it's not an actual emergency, fuck you.
Yeah.
How about that?
Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
I'm sure we're going to be getting
anyway,
a message from Stone Cold or someone very soon.
Yeah. Fuck him too. Fuck that fucking prick. Okay.
But I hope
perspective
nothing bad is wrong, honestly. All joking
Yeah,
aside.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure he's out drinking with friends. He had better plans. That's fine. Whatever. All right. Bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. And now on to our topic today. It's a swerve. The return of CM Punk. As always, you can reach us via Instagram at OWP2019, SoundCloud at Our Wrestling Podcast, YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, or just do the easy thing, download WrestlePost. It's an app at no charge to you, and join us along with other great podcasts of the day. Bum, bum, bum. Punk is really returning? What are you talking about? Jess, what's going on?
Sort of. I mean, he's working for Fox.
Sort of.
I know everybody wants to jump the gun because there's been so much clamor since he left. People wanting him to return, people chanting CM Punk, which is Dave's favorite thing on live events and stuff. But yeah, he's back working for Fox, which of course we know that WWE is in bed with Fox. SmackDown is on Fox. Fox has a lot of influence on the SmackDown product, as is evident by the firing of Bischoff and the way they're trying to change the production values of that show and the booking, so Fox has a lot of input. So what that tells me is that eventually Punk will make his way back to the WWE. It's got to happen. I mean, he's working for Fox on a show about the WWE product. So it's, come on.
Of course. And there's one thing that Jess just really doesn't want to talk about right now because he sees the timeline and he knows.
No, I do want to talk about it, asshole. And
you do.
Yes.
Oh,
so Dave and I made a bet. I don't know if you
can lay the backstory for him.
We said it at the last King of the Ring episode, which I won. I dominated Dave, and Dave lost that bet. Anyway, that's old shit, right? So let's move on.
And I would argue that I won because I had some delicious gin and I was hammered. It was amazing.
Whatever. Anywho,
yeah, it was great.
Anywho, so
I think I won. I really believe I won.
Such a loser. And so we had made a bet before that. So Dave and I got into this argument, kind of off mic, about how Dave will try to downplay it now, but he gets very triggered when fans chant CM Punk, and that's the perfect word. I hate words like snowflake and triggered because that's so 2018, 2019. It's what people use as like a lazy term to,
Now it's boomer, right?
Yeah, boomers. Oh fuck! Boomer. Don't say that again. I can't. I'm gonna throw up if I hear that again.
It's so weird.
It's just people are so lazy. They just find words to.
I don't even think half of them know what that means when they say it.
I don't even care if they do or not. Like, honestly, it's just so irritating. But
it's lazy horseshit is what it is. But anyway, I digress.
In this sense, triggered is perfect to describe your dirt sheets and CM Punk trigger you. That's just what happens. So whenever Dave,
I think I'm getting better with dirt sheets. Come on, I think I'm growing to understand
you're not
them.
growing
I still
at
won't
all.
read them.
That's a bold-faced lie. I talk to you in private. That's a lie. So Dave gets triggered. I don't think by CM Punk the athlete. I don't believe that. I think Dave gets triggered when fans chant for him and people want CM Punk back. I don't know why. Well,
like they are his savior.
Maybe we'll get into it. Maybe it's your opinion. Maybe we'll get into it. But people chant CM Punk and they clamor for CM Punk, and they have for years since he left. And it drives Dave nuts. So I said, you know what? When we found out that he was booked for StarCast in August, right before the AEW show.
Yeah. It's in our archives, by the way.
Yes. Dave and I got into it, and Dave's like, "Do you want to bet then?" And I said, yes. He's like, "I bet that." Dave is very specific. He feels that Punk doesn't have the passion or the.
I said that.
And he's not in the shape to come back. And I was like, "You're nuts!" Like, he's coming back to StarCast. He's gonna get bit by the wrestling bug. And first of all, Punk is like a groundhog, right? He only comes out a couple times a year, and if he sees his shadow, he fucking runs away for another couple months, then he comes out again. Like, that's what Punk does. So Punk came out, and he did not see a shadow, so he's like, "Oh, cool." And then he got bit by the StarCast bug. Conrad and them hired him. He came over, he did his Q&As, he met his public again. I told Dave right then he's going to get bit by the wrestling bug because he just lives by social media while he did his whole failed UFC venture and everything else. He just, really kind of, as far as wrestling was concerned, he just would tweet here and there, and that's it. He didn't really remember what it was like when you're not with WWE and you're not in that toxic environment, his words, and that's why he left for the most part.
Sure.
You kind of forget that you love wrestling, and I believe he loves wrestling. He just got soured on it by being in this big machine, this big company that has a toxic environment and is ran by a guy named Vince McMahon, and Punk got tired of it, and he got tired of being sick and tired, and he got tired of being booked wrong. He got tired of being passed over for certain things.
He got tired of being physically ill for several months.
So that all happened, and I found it crazy that Dave was just like, "No, he's got no passion. He will never come back." Those were Dave's words. He will never come back. So I said, "You are totally wrong." The fact that Punk's at StarCast, at the time, because we made this bet back in August, I thought he was going to debut for AEW Dynamite when, this was.
I think a lot of people.
So I was wrong on that, but that wasn't the basis of my bet. That's why I started the bet. I told Dave.
What was the bet?
The bet is that CM Punk will wrestle in a wrestling match in either AEW, WWE, or New Japan Pro Wrestling by December 31st of 2019. Now, you can laugh all you want.
And I had to go, "Oh, that's a done deal." I'm fucking taking that bet.
You can laugh all you want because here's my thing. First of all, it's not December 31st yet. So I have a while. I have a bit.
We're close, bitch.
It's not December 30 until it's December 31st. Then I don't lose. So basically, Dave was on the opposite side and said, "There's no way Punk's going to come back ever." But if you want to put the stipulation of December 31st, 2019, be my guest. I was the generous one that set that timeline. I did.
I agree.
I did.
I have
so
no.
I might have been a little overzealous on that. I don't even know if that's the phrase or word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So the bet is that whoever loses, so if CM Punk wrestles for AEW, WWE, or New Japan, wrestles in a match, whether it's a tag team match, 8-man, singles, whatever, it doesn't matter. No special guest referee, no commentating, nothing like that. Has to be wrestle.
Yeah.
He has to wrestle in a match. Not like a run-in where he comes down and does a few moves and clears the ring and people cheer. And a match where they advertise it, he's wrestling in a match.
A sanctioned match.
If he does that before or on December 31st, Dave must drink beer from one of my shitty, decrepit, nasty shoes. And if CM Punk does not debut by the 31st,
Well, listen, if he debuts or not after the 1st of January, you can say that.
Right.
Because you said the stipulation.
Right. So if he does not debut before the 31st or on the 31st, that's the deadline, then I lose, and I must drink beer from a shoe of David's choice. David has already said something about hiking in some bullshit boots or whatever, and that's whatever he wants is fine. All I'm saying is this.
I think it was Zion, it was Arches, there's some red clay in there.
Good for you and
fantastic.
Nature and fuck you.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna enjoy it.
So I've already won the King of the Ring, so that's in my side already. So I'm already a world champion, and Dave is struggling to catch up. So that's fine. So I was a little off, but here's my statement right now. I have two things to say. I already said the first one, which is it's not December 31st yet, so calm your tits. Secondly, everything I told you off the air, some made it on the air, most made it off the air. Everything I've told you has come true. He got bit by the bug. All of a sudden now he's back on Fox Sports 1. It's not for WWE, but it's for a fucking WWE based show or a show that's about the WWE product. So
I'm not.
And Fox is in bed with WWE. So everything I've said that he got bit by the bug, he is going to come back as far as like get his interest right now, get his mouth wet, you know, get the taste for it again is all happening. It's all true. Now I might, the word might is what I'm using right now. I might or may be wrong about the 31st because right now, when you think about it, he's not booked for Survivor Series. So there's no way he's going to wrestle on Survivor Series, even if they bring him out as a surprise guest or whatever. It's not it. I don't win the bet because he's not wrestling.
It's on the sanctioned.
There's no valid event in December that WWE is going to want to ruin that debut for a December pay-per-view. I don't even know what the December pay-per-view is anymore. So at the very least, he'll debut for the Royal Rumble. If he comes back, he'll win the Rumble out of nowhere, be a surprise entrant, win it, get a shot at Mania, get a Brock Lesnar type of contract, right? Where he only wrestles like a handful of times a year, and he only has to do a handful of Raws or SmackDowns a year, and then he'll be gone, you know? So he doesn't have to hurt himself anymore. So that's fine. That's probably what's going to happen. And the 31st may come and go. I don't know. But all I'm telling you right now is that I'm the one that gave you that generous timeline of December 31st, 2019. And everything I said has happened so far. Everything I've said.
I'll give you three things, Jess. There's 3 bullet points to this. Bullet point 1 is everything that Jess has said to this point totally valid and true. The answer is yeah, for sure. Second, should Jess have extended his timeline to WrestleMania in April? Yes.
I just gave a good reason as to why I didn't, though.
And bullet point number 3 is this drink that Jess is going to drink on January 1st, known as a shoey to most Aussies in Australia. The answer is yes. And he's going to fucking drink from that dirty ass shoe. We call it a shoey, ladies and gentlemen. And Jess is going to fucking drink from it, and it's going to be glorious.
I think you and
like
one Aussie call it a shoey. You're just married. That's fine. It's a good hashtag for you.
Just Google it, bro.
And you know what? I feel...
Do yourself a favor.
I'll feel a little better for you because I honestly felt really bad of trouncing you in the King of the Ring bet. So I'm glad that you might, it may not happen. You might get revenge, maybe. It just depends. And I don't know how you're going to top it. Like, Cuz brought Macho Man from Heaven on. Cuz brought Stone Cold on the drive-thru, and he was mad at Rob Van Dam. He had no idea that Rob Van Dam was even in front of him. I don't know how you're going to top that. Cuz pulled out all the stops and did all this great stuff and got all these celebrities on. So that's fine. I had a huge show, you know. I proved myself, Jesus. And even whatever the 31st means, whether it comes or goes, I told you that he was coming back. Your statement was he's never coming back. He doesn't have the passion. Dave, he's already got one foot in the fucking hot tub. All he's got to do is slip his trunks off and get in naked and go to town. So that's all he's got to do. Stephanie McMahon's already in there, all nude.
Here's the thing, guys. Here, for all you 7 listeners out there, here's the deal. You know, when you talk about making a bet, I don't think I would make a bet that CM Punk is never coming back. I would say that CM Punk was
Which
never
you
coming back.
did say. You did say that.
I said that over and over and over.
And that is your bet. That is your bet.
But here's Jess. Here's Jess saying, I'll even put a date on. What's your date? December 31st. I'm like, fucking
This
done.
was back in, first of all, like I said.
That will never happen, bro.
This was back in July when we first heard that he was going to be in August at Starcast. So I
was never more sure at that moment. Even if he did come back for some crazy reason, I'm like, you can't do it.
That is a lie. You were not sure. And then all the times when they started hearing when he answered questions a certain way at Starcast, you were sweating your balls off. Then then certain things would come up. You were sweating your balls off. When you saw him on Fox Sport 1, you were sweating your balls off. Just you were.
No, not really.
I was too generous.
No,
I was too generous.
It wasn't at all.
I was too generous, and my guilt got the best of me because I trounced you so bad in the King of the Ring that I generously gave you December 31st, 2019. Your statement was he will never come back. He doesn't have passion anymore. It was this ridiculous, misguided statement on your part, but that's fine. Hey, let me reel it back in.
I'll put it out there.
Let me reel it back in.
I'll put it out there.
Let me reel it back in.
No, I'll tell you right now. I'll say it. I firmly believe that CM Punk has no passion. But you know what I believe he has a passion for?
Oh God,
Greenbacks.
Greenback.
Fucking do it. Don't do it. You think Brock has a passion at this
Does it
point?
matter?
Fuck you.
If
Fuck
I
off.
made the bet that Brock would not come back, I would have won that because he came back.
We can't make bets based on passion, bro. But I can tell you that if someone's going to offer Punk
Your
a
opinion about
deal to
CM
fucking
Punk
work
was
6
based
days
off
a year,
you.
he'll do it.
Your opinion about CM Punk was based off you thinking he had no passion to come back. That was your bet. So you could say all you want right now that one doesn't do that when you did do it. And you might win because
That's
of my
fine.
generous date. Now let me reel this back in.
Yeah. Oh, your generous date. That's what I'm saying. Who's going to?
I'm the one who set the timeline. And listen. If the 31st comes
I'm listening.
and CM Punk has not debuted, I will gladly drink out of a shoe of your choice, and I will gladly honor my bet because I am a gentleman and I will take care of business when I need to take care of business. And maybe Cuz can get celebrities or whoever the fuck or Macho to come down again for you. That'd be fine. And
I don't.
You'll be so
you
happy.
know what? I don't
You'll be
need
so
fucking
happy.
special guests. I don't need fucking extravagant fucking music. I just need video of you to go on every fucking social media platform available.
That's fine.
Drinking from
However
the
you
dirtiest
want
shoe on
to
the
produce
planet,
the
which will be
episode.
mine. I'll probably step in dog do the day before. It'll be an
However
accident,
you
but
want
it's
to
going to happen.
produce the episode is how you want to do it. And if you step in dog do, that doesn't matter. I'm not drink. Like, are you going to put dog shit inside?
No, but you're going to have to smell it when you drink it.
No, I'm going to alcohol the bottom of it. You didn't know that. I can clean the outside however I want.
You're going to put some, are you going to Purell that
Hell,
shit?
we didn't even make stipulations. I could throw your fucking shoe in my washing machine if I want to. You didn't say I couldn't.
Well, I still think it won't get it out, bro. It's like you said. You think you got problems? Come on, bro. I went to Humboldt State for 5 years. My feet have never been the same.
Whatever.
Never.
Just the 31st, we'll see. We got some time.
Nightmares, bro.
We got some time. I've been right about everything.
But here's the deal. Let's talk about. I don't want to talk about Punk too much. I mean, gosh, I think it's been overdone. But I think we're extremely curious to see what's going to happen with this FS1 deal, right? Jess and I were kind of talking about it off the air a little bit, and gosh, I got to tell you, Fox, there's a little birdie told me they got some fucking money, right? What do you pay Punk to be on FS1 on a part-time basis? How does that even work? What is it even going to do? And by the way, what's your estimate of what ratings are going to be on FS1 at midnight next week?
Is this a ramp? Is this a ramp? Oh my god! Holy crap! You guys don't want me to cuss and you do this? Yeah! Come on!
Wow. I do this.
Wow.
No idea. No
That's
idea.
awesome! All right, welcome. Welcome home.
Yes, well,
It's as simple as this. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the culture.
I mean, we were talking about this too last week when Punk wasn't even a part of the show. And it was like 50,000 viewers or something terrible. But
And let's be honest, it's FS1.
it's on at
fucking
midnight, yeah.
right?
So that's it's not
Sure.
fair to judge it, even though ratings for WWE is down across the board. So this doesn't surprise me. But at the same time, like unfortunately, that's a normal midnight rating for Fox Sport 1. And then the episode that Punk did appear on, they didn't advertise Punk. They snuck him in the building under wraps. Literally, they wrapped his face. And so they did all of that. So you didn't know it was Punk. And he appeared, the last couple minutes or last 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, right. At the
So
end
yeah,
of the
and that
show,
got
yeah.
100,000 viewers. So I can't attribute that to Punk. So it doubled just for no reason, really, because when you're that low, it'll fluctuate. You know what I mean? It'll just jump up and down. I feel that when he's on next week or this week, I think it's on every Tuesday. So when he's on this Tuesday, and this episode will release on a Tuesday. When he's on this Tuesday, he will Dave was saying he'll probably 4 to 5 times it. I would not be shocked.
I think he'll quintuple.
Yeah,
the
even
number.
though
I
Fox
think it'll
Sport
be
1 is not
400,000
in a
viewers.
lot of households, it's in 300,000 households, right? At least,
It's more.
it's more than that. It's more than that. So they'll get like a 5 share or 6 share or whatever that is, whatever percentage that is. And dude, Punk is going to get 300 to 500,000 viewers, no problem, because people are all going to tune in to see what he says and does and how he's going to fit in. But Punk's not going to be on every week. They even said he's not going to be on every week. He's going to be on, they didn't give a time frame or a number of dates a month, probably once a month, twice a month, maybe. So he gets a good chunk of change just for doing that. He's going to work his way. Fox is going to get in Vince's ear and be like, hey, you know, the little show we have on our actual network channel, SmackDown, that's tanking in the ratings and is not delivering what you promised. You know, we want Punk on that. So you need to get him under contract and we need to put him on there. They might even start out with, hey, you know, on SmackDown, right? They might be like, we're going to go live to the Fox Sport 1 studio with CM Punk. And they might start putting his face on like that, for example, on SmackDown. That could be a thing. That could happen. And that could just get people to say, oh my God, I saw CM Punk's face on SmackDown, right? That could start out like little by little. And the bug is it's already bit him, first of all. Secondly, like it's going to happen. They're going to work him into a Brock style contract. He's going to come back. He won't even be wrestling enough to get sick of creative because Brock isn't. Brock goes.
There won't be enough creative to even
Brock just has to answer to Paul Heyman basically. And, you know, they talk with Brock about a week before they bring him in. Hey, you know, your Raw's coming up. You know, you've been off TV for a month or whatever. Like, your Raw's coming up. So here's what we're going to do with you. And we're going to hype you for the next pay-per-view. And then you'll be gone again for another month. Sounds good. Like, you know, that's what they're going to do with Punk. So Punk's...
Their creative is Brock at that point. The creative will be Punk at that point. That is the creative.
Yeah, and he'll work close with Vince or Triple H and tell him what he wants to do, and he'll do it. And they'll talk about, okay, yeah, let's do that. And, okay, you know, you're going to face so-and-so at SummerSlam. And, you know, give us 2 Raws leading up to SummerSlam or 2 SmackDowns leading up to SummerSlam, and that you'll be good. Then he'll go away for a month or two and then come back and do it again.
And let's be honest. We were talking about the soft line too. I mean, Brock up front has changed the game for the top talent in any kind of wrestling federation because Brock can leave and come as he pleases, and he still gets paid a top-notch contract. And his leaving is the ultimate thing to cool off and then come back and have instant heat, which is what they used to do back in the day. If you were worn out, they'd take you off TV and then they'd bring you back and you explode, right? That's what Brock's doing right now, but he's doing it on a major contract. But you can also argue, Jess, and I want you to take the lead from here, that CM Punk is the man that created that contract for Lesnar. Can you expand?
Like people who are like, you signed a contract. You have to understand that contracts are not fucking worth the paper they're printed on. If they were, they wouldn't have settled. They would have held me over a fucking barrel, and I wouldn't be doing this fucking podcast. I waited till all the legal bullshit was out of the way. I never sued them. It was all about a settlement. It was, hey guys, guess what? You can't do that. You can't do this, and don't do this. And they immediately fired back and were like, okay, how do you want to proceed? And that's what it was.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way he left the first time and the way he went to court and he won. And in his particular case, other wrestlers have lost, but in his case, the contract wasn't worth the paper that it was written on. And he was able to get out of his contract. You know, he paid a lot of money in legal fees. Don't get me wrong. It came with a price, you know. But he proved, at least in his particular case, that he can get out of his contract, that, you know, he was claiming that it was, you know, he was injured and nobody cared and took the time and all that. And then the actual doctor separately ended up trying to sue CM Punk and Colt Cabana for spreading lies on his podcast. And the doctor did not win the lawsuit. CM Punk and Colt Cabana defended themselves in court. So it was deemed that they did not do anything or say anything that was, you know, out of line or that could or they felt were blatant lies, you know. So Punk had a leg to stand on that. So that gave him confidence, you know. And I'm not saying every wrestler that wants out of their contract should, if they have the money, waste it on a lawyer and sue or an attorney and sue. I'm not saying that. In his case, this opened up a lot of people's eyes. And nowadays, well, Brock was already under contract before Punk left anyway. So Brock had the contract before. But now I think it's even friendlier, and Vince is even open to doing it with more people like Goldberg, and Taker's been on it for a while. And, you know, Punk will follow suit as well, because he knows, okay, I can use their names. And Punk's built up a legend from being gone so much because he left as this rebel. Gee, there was another superstar in the past that got over from being a rebel. That's weird. I wonder how that worked out for him. So it's the same thing. And Punk was a rebel when he was hot anyway, when he did the shoot promo that he did on the rampway of Raw that one day. So, I mean, he's always been
I'm breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, he's always been kind of a rebel. The difference between the Stone Cold era and the Rock era was in the Stone Cold era at the beginning, their back was up against the wall and they were losing a ratings war and they were looking stupid and embarrassed and they were embarrassed. So they fucking took the cuffs off. They let Stone Cold have a lot of creative input. When Punk got over, he was immediately shackled. And creative's like, we got this. Yeah. Nope, we got this, pal. We got it. And they stifled him. And that's the difference. They tried to even book him the same way, where they put the title on him at first and then they took it away from him by screwing him. You know, Nash came in and hit him and Del Rio cashed in the Money in the Bank. And then this, and they tried to make Laurinaitis or Triple H be the authority figure like Mr. McMahon was to Austin back in the day. And it didn't work because the creative atmosphere had changed dramatically since the late 90s to early 2000s. That's why. That's the difference. CM Punk had just as much potential to be as big as Austin. I'll say it.
Maybe some believe more.
I don't know about more. I mean, Austin.
I don't agree. I'm saying some
to
believe
be a Hulk
more.
Hogan or an Austin or The Rock and be on Good Morning America or live with not Regis anymore, but live with Kelly and whoever. That's a special kind of cat. You really do have to be kind of like very neutral and very friendly to everyone. Rock is, Rock gets on, he's huge. So all the guys are like, look at the size of that guy, but he's a good looking guy. So all the girls are like, look at that guy. And then he's very calm. And when he talks, he's, family people are like, The Rock is a very nice gentleman. He's super nice, and he's, appeals to all races and all, types of people. So that's what's special about The Rock. I don't know if Punk has that type of charisma outside of the ring. Inside of the ring, and as the character CM Punk, he has all kinds of charisma. But I don't know if CM Punk is the, you're watching The Rock at home with this big bright white teeth smile and hi everybody, and he makes the girls laugh, makes the guys laugh. I don't know if Punk has that ability. He might. I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying I don't know. He's got tattoos everywhere, and that might appeal to some people. But when the general family is watching, again, live with Kelly and whoever is our host, Ryan Seacrest or whatever, or Good Morning America or 2020 or whatever they're on, that's a different kind of breed. Hulk had it. Austin had it. Even though Austin was on the fence, he's bald. He looked fucking scary, Austin did, but Austin was funny. And when he went on shows, he was humorous. And people, oh, you're a real nice guy for being all bald and scary and muscular,
Here's to
But
you.
Austin also tugged at your heartstrings as everybody wanted to tell their boss to go fuck themselves. And Austin could do that on a weekly basis in the storyline. So that's why people loved Austin. Austin played it to the T. So Punk, I'm not saying Punk could have been as big as them, but the climate creatively changed. That's what fucked Punk. And I really believe that. And I think Punk just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, right?
Well, there's a big difference when you've got nobody, breathing down your neck on a weekly basis, and you get comfortable. And CM Punk was in the era where things got comfortable.
Well, and when you're working with creative and you're in the trenches together, like Austin was, and you're coming up with stuff together, that's a different atmosphere than, hey, go to the meeting room. Hey, Punk, put your bags down. Go to the meeting room. Get your script. We'll see you soon. Okay. The thing that got Punk over was they let him fucking sit Indian style on the ramp and shoot.
I've grabbed so many of Vincent K. McMahon's imaginary brass rings that it's finally dawned on me that they're just that. They're completely imaginary. The only thing that's real is me, and the fact that day in and day out for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me. And yet, no matter how many times I prove it, I'm not on your lovely little collector cups. I'm not on the cover of the program. I'm barely promoted. I don't get to be in movies. I'm certainly not on any crappy show on the USA Network. I'm not on the poster of WrestleMania. I'm not in the signature that's produced at the start of the show.
To talk about what made Punk, the reason why fans were clamoring, why Dave gets triggered, is because he did do some stuff, before he left. And, we're not going to talk about his independent days or his Ring of Honor days. Those were noteworthy and they're important to his career. I advise you go on the network. I still think it's on the network, right? The CM Punk documentary. It's an excellent documentary. Yes. If you don't, buy it from eBay, find it digitally, however you can do it. It's an excellent, excellent documentary. One of WWE's best honest documentaries ever. They actually refer to Ring of Honor in that. They talk about the old indies that he was in, how he started with his brother. His brother kind of embezzled money from him, and the whole thing. And so, but really, really what started was when he came up to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Paul Heyman liked him in Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW. And they were probably going to let him go with a bunch of other talent, just people we're never going to use that guy. He's tattooed, he's not big, all that. So but Paul Heyman liked his promos and liked his attitude, and Paul Heyman's like, no, this guy's good. He's really good.
You got to keep him. You got to keep him around.
He comes in WWE in the ECW brand that most people don't like, but that spawned birth to CM Punk. CM Punk debuted on the ECW brand, the WWE ECW brand, and then finally went up to the main roster and won the World Heavyweight Championship. Not the WWE Championship, but the World Heavyweight Championship right away. He won the Money in the Bank ladder match at one of the WrestleManias, and then he ended up beating the world champion at the time. I think he came out. Who was that? I fucking missed it. I can't remember who he did. Someone's going to be like, fucking, of course he beat this person. But he won the Money in the Bank. He cashed it in. He won the World Heavyweight Championship, which kind of established him on the main brand. People were talking about him. Oh, wow, this guy's CM Punk. So, but he was the placeholder, right? I mean, the World Heavyweight Championship wasn't the main event guy, wasn't the top guy that they were going to put stock into. That eventually went away. Fast forwarding to this really fucking cool and creative storyline. A lot of people label this as it was ahead of its time. And I'm talking about...
He defeated Carlito in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, I overlooked who he beat for the world title.
Yeah, and then he beat Morrison and The Miz in a three-way match.
Not for the world championship, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm reading this wrong. Let's see.
Oh, it's Ed. It was Edge. Batista came out and beat him down, and then when Edge was laying there helpless, he came down, cashed in on Edge. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
CM Punk is doing it. He's cashing in Money in the Bank. Edge. The GPS. Oh, right to sleep. Look at this. The cover. Punk's done it. Punk's the champion. Punk's the champion.
Here is your winner and the new World Heavyweight Champion,
He beat down, Batista beat down Edge, and then he fucking...
There you go. Thank you for saving me, because I fucking couldn't find that. But the thing that I was talking about...
back then. A lot of weird shit happened.
The big thing that I was talking about that I became kind of a fan of him was for the Straight Edge Society. That fucking group was awesome. And it was not ahead of its time. A lot of people say that, it didn't work. It didn't work because they didn't have the confidence in CM Punk. And they didn't put the stock in him. I mean...
They didn't even know what it was.
I don't want to run this episode long, but long story short, he had a feud with Rey Mysterio while he was like this cult leader. And he had Luke Gallows join him, who everybody knows who Luke Gallows is now. Previously, he played Festus, this mentally challenged guy.
OC, baby.
Yeah, who was part of his tag team. And so Luke Gallows came out, actually got to show his real personality, which is very funny and very creative. And so he was part of CM Punk. Then he had the girl. God damn it! Why am I blanking on all this stuff? Usually I can just come up with. He had the girl. God, what was her name? Oh, I really hate this right now. Usually I'm off the top of my head. I can just
usually right on this stuff.
But yeah, there was the girl that came in, and she started accompanying them down to the ring. And then basically he put her on one of the episodes of SmackDown. He put her down on her knees and shaved her head as an initiation. So this woman got her head shaved.
You are witnessing the pastor of purity, CM Punk, welcome another disciple into the straight edge society. This is symbolic in the straight edge society of shedding your iniquities. It's almost like Punk has found his Mary Magdalene. See the vulnerability in this girl's eyes tonight?
And she was a part of straight edge society. And so the three of them, Punk was kind of like this evil cult leader talking about being straight edge. And if you put any kind of poison in your body, you were weak in the mind, you were weak at heart, you were a weak person. And like he was just, it was awesome. It was really cool. It wasn't ahead of its time. It's just that WWE didn't have faith in him. I mean, Mysterio beat him regularly. The Big Show at one point beat the entire straight edge society in one match, in a handicap match. That can't be good for the fucking storyline, right? So it's just ridiculous. And then Punk got injured shortly after that. But even while he was injured, like Brett was, when Brett was part of the Hart Foundation, remember him in the wheelchair when he had knee surgery? They could have done so much stuff if they were fucking creative, but they weren't creative, and they had no belief, and they had no patience back then. Her name is Serena, the girl wrestler. Serena.
Oh, Serena, yeah.
I just could not remember her name.
There it is. I found her.
Could not remember her name, save her life. So he did that. Straight Edge Society was not ahead of the curve. It was not ahead of its time. It was a perfectly acceptable storyline for back here in the time, except the fucking company refused to get behind him. So I did like CM Punk back then, going like, how do you not see the talent in this guy? Maybe he's a big dick in the back. Maybe he's a fucking asshole and he fucking shits in people's bags. Oh, wait, they still pushed Orton anyway. So what is that? Shawn Michaels would tell Vince to go fuck himself loudly in the locker room, and Shawn Michaels had a great career. So what could this guy be doing in back that sours, the management? Nothing. There's nothing. I just named two situations and they still push those guys. Like, I don't understand how that happened. So he comes up with this awesome gimmick on his own, the Straight Edge Society. It's cool. It's working. They shit on it. Mysterio beats him 2 out of the 3 matches they had. Big Show beats him in a handicap match, like I said. It's just, they just end it. Then they have Gallows and him they're at odds with each other, and then he beats Gallows in a match, and that effectively ends the Straight Edge Society. So it really never got legs under it. Punk's create.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with Punk. They let him do whatever he wanted. They put him on TV, and they're like, we don't want to put stock in this or Punk, so fuck him. Like, that's what they did. Then they tried to made him the leader of the Nexus, which was awesome with Wade Barrett, and they fucked that up by Cena squashing them in our archives. I talk about that. Cena squashes the Nexus, but they try to revitalize the Nexus. Punk comes back from the injury. They make Punk the leader of the Nexus. That shits the bed too, because they don't give a shit about Punk until Punk leaves. And he's like, I'm not going to resign. And then all of a sudden they're like, dude, no, we want you to resign. Unless things change, unless you give me some good faith that I'm going to be used right or that you value me. I have Punk from the beginning. You can call him arrogant or whatever you want. Was like, I have talent that a lot of people don't have. I'm better on the mic than 95.9% of the people you have in this company. I have more charisma. I'm better in the ring. I can have a good match with anybody. I can put people over. I could do what I need to do. So he's like, but I'm leaving though, so fuck you. And the only place he could have went at that point was TNA, but years earlier he burned a bridge, so he wasn't going to go there. So they were just like, no, we want you to resign. What do you want to stay? And that's when he developed hey, what if you let me get on the rampway and I say shit? I just talk shit. I'm going to say stuff. I'm going to say real stuff that I'm frustrated with creative, that I'm frustrated with you, and I'm going to embellish it. I'm going to put a little stank on it, but my basic is that I'm unhappy and I don't like it. I think that we need to kind of reintroduce realism. In the Attitude Era and the NWO, that was very reality based, right? You really hated your boss. You really wanted to tell your boss to go fuck themselves. In the NWO, real guys were quote unquote coming in to invade a company. So Punk is like, let's kind of reintroduce what's real. A lot of people have gotten numb to a lot of things in society, but we could still kind of bring back realism. Let me get on. Let me break the fourth wall. Let me talk to people at home. Let me talk to people in the crowd and tell them how much you suck and your family lineage sucks and you guys are holding me back and I'm leaving and I'm going to take your fucking stupid title and I'm going to leave with it because you're a joke.
That's a big deal.
And so that it worked. He beat Cena at Money in the Bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 1 hour and 14 minutes, CM Punk is no longer an employee of WWE. And here comes Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio looking to cash it in. And Punk catches him with a right hand. And CM Punk.
He leaves. They keep him off TV for a full month. Like, he left. They even have a tournament where I think Cena beats Mysterio in the finals of the tournament. And, you know, like, they pretty much act like they're moving on, which was genius. Punk, meanwhile, on Twitter is posting pictures of the belt in his fridge, posting, you know, pictures of the belt on his toilet in the bathroom. It was all perfect. People were actually having Punk on their morning shows going, is this real? Are you really gone? Yeah.
He's like, I'm not fucking signed.
Yeah, I'm done.
not
I have no
signed.
contract. And he didn't. But the thing is right before he went out to face John Cena, when he won the match at Money in the Bank, he did sign a contract, but it was all kept on the down low. It was all done hush hush. I'm sure Vince or Triple H probably held the contract physically in their hands, folded it up, put it in their pocket, walked away. Punk goes out, beats John Cena, does the whole thing. So it's the best kept secret because they held it from the media, you know, the dirt sheets. They held it from the
You'll never see it.
So it's awesome, you know. And then they squandered it. And we're running along in this episode, and I fucking hate it because I didn't want to make it this long. But like,
nah, it's not that bad. Come on,
but like,
do yourself.
But yeah, like he did cool stuff, but then they stifled him every chance they got. You know, Nash they finally fucking put the title on him at SummerSlam. They finally, or actually he beat Cena in a rematch. Sorry, at SummerSlam that year. And unifies both titles, even though there was only one. But, you know, when he left, quote unquote, and left the company, they pretended like he really left. And so they recrowned John Cena. John Cena was the champion. Punk comes out and says, hey, nope, I'm back. I signed a contract. I'm the champion. I beat you at Money in the Bank. Then they made them rematch at SummerSlam. He beat Cena again. Then Kevin Nash, who hadn't seen the light of an arena in years, comes out of nowhere.
Of all people.
Attacks CM Punk. Del Rio cashes in the Money in the Bank and then takes the title from Punk. Pins him.
My goodness. With a referee in tow. Timing is everything. Del Rio with the Money in the Bank contract. He's cashing it in.
Alberto Del Rio cashing in his Money in the Bank contract.
CM Punk.
I don't believe this.
Taken out by Nash. Del Rio. Kick to the back of the head. The cover. Oh my Lord.
They kill his fucking heat that night. But Jess,
That's weird.
Austin got pinned by Kane and Undertaker, and they took, you know, Austin was never champion for more than 2 or 3 months at a time anyway. You're right, but the thing is again, they were all in the trenches together. Austin had plenty of say. He didn't show up for TV and they're like, this is what you're doing. They came in and they said, Austin, what do you want to do? We're thinking this. Oh yeah, that's good. Let's do that. Let's do this. That's a major difference in atmospheres. Am I wrong? Like,
no, I agree. When Punk was like, where's that going?
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things Punk ever said was, hey, you're losing to Brock tonight. Why?
Not even that. Before that,
You
you're
know.
right in that, and we'll get to that. Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm just giving
right
you an
after
example,
Nash
right? Was
made
why?
him lose to Del Rio, the next pay-per-view, Triple H comes out of retirement, takes on CM Punk in a no-holds-barred match or a no-DQ match or something like that, and Triple H beats him. And then goes back into retirement. And it's amazing.
Why?
It's amazing that they don't.
It doesn't make any sense.
They don't see how that's you. Austin never got beat fair, and the thing was,
That's true.
Vince always kept
That's
that
true.
window up. You know, Vince.
And even think about the Undertaker. Oh, the Undertaker. Oh, I'm gonna take Undertaker's undefeated show. Okay, that's where Punk's gonna get his then. And guess what?
never happened.
That doesn't happen
Yeah.
either. Why? You won't see Undertaker for another fucking year. Why?
And that's fine. That's
You know,
fine. The
I-
streak.
That's what I'm saying. All of this stuff. When Punk starts asking the question, why? Who's going to be there tomorrow? I know I'm not quoting a lot of CM Punk's like Cole Cabana podcast. Who's going to be there tomorrow? Is fucking Brock going to be there? Well, no. Then why? You know why? Why are you doing this? This doesn't make
and he
any
wasn't even
sense
saying
for the
like
product.
I should beat Brock. It's like, why am I even fighting Brock then? Like,
that. Yeah, that
why
doesn't
can't
make
Triple
sense.
H or
right?
Cena or someone come out of retirement or partial retirement or whatever was going on at the time?
Where it doesn't
Yeah, and
matter.
they could lose to
It's a
Brock.
great match, and people will remember it, but it doesn't hurt anybody either way.
He's
Yeah.
like, I need you and Brock for SummerSlam, big headline match. And I said, great. And who's going over? And he goes, well, Brock. And I went, great. Who's going to be at work on Monday? And there's just silence on the end of the phone. And he goes, well, I mean, you. And I went, why? I said, do I get my rematch at the next pay-per-view? He goes, no. I said, when's Brock coming back? He said, probably the Royal Rumble. And I went, fucking hell. Okay, so I got to put over The Rock, and he goes away. I got to put over Taker, and he goes away. And now I'm putting over Brock, and he goes away. My stock is dropping rapidly in the eyes of the casual viewer, who is who they care about. So if I'm to maintain my main event status, I'm not going to be able to do it by just producing excellent matches on house shows and TVs all the time. I now go, well, fuck it. I want to be that guy.
Right.
And Vince was like, well, no, I need you. The talent pool is really thin right now. And I went, tell Brock to work the fucking house shows. And this is a lot of people.
Why
gonna go,
ruin
he
me?
doesn't like
Why
Brock.
ruin the
And
guy
me and Brock
that?
go
But
on
it's
fucking
because
good. So shut
back
up.
in the Attitude Era,
Because Vince doesn't like you and you're 218 pounds. That's
after
why.
Austin left and took his ball and went home when he was told to lose to Brock Lesnar in 2002.
Oh, yeah.
That Vince
Yeah.
made the decision then, I am never going to make this company about one person again. Hulk kind of burned me. Austin burned me. I'll never do it again. It's about the brand. We're a brand. So that was his dream. When he went public, we're a brand. So they're a brand. That's the thing. They never viewed themselves as doing wrong to the CM Punk character because it's all about the brand anyway, which has been the company's problem for the last 10 years. And until they get over that and realize that you do need a star, you could have some sub-stars. Sure. You could have your Mankind's and your DXs and all that. That's fine. That's
Your Kurt
fine.
Angles, yeah.
But you need your fucking Austins. You need your Rocks.
You can
You
rotate
need
them
your
up and down.
Hogans. You need them. You have to have them. And they just don't. No, we don't. It's about the brand. We don't. You do. You do, though. And you're going to keep over and over again, almost getting there and then failing. And then it's just going to happen all over again. Then people are going to be posting on social media. I want to leave. I can't believe this. It's like they just don't. It's so easy to fix, Dave. They have all the talents and all the resources in the world. They're the richest pro wrestling company in the world. And they
not only financially, but in the realms of talent. Look at Walter. I don't
I don't even know what you want to say about their talent. It's so huge.
Good God.
So yeah, so that I don't know if
absolutely
we did a good
incredible.
job, but like that is some of the things that we were talking about leading up to Punk leaving. Those were his achievements. Straight Edge Society, the
course.
shoot promo, because I refuse to call it a pipe bomb.
A fantastic Undertaker match that he did lose, but it was still a
the
great
Undertaker match was amazing, like because he was on fire. The Brock Lesnar match that he ended up losing to at SummerSlam that year, that was a fantastic
no
match.
sense.
That was an amazing match.
Yeah. He still made everything the
Punk
best he could
did,
possibly
he's
make.
not overrated. Everything Punk did. The only thing that
I
makes
would
him
never disagree
overrated
with you on that.
is the fact that people like to say when people leave and then people clamor for their return, it's easy for the opposite side to say, "Oh, they're overrated."
Yeah.
He's not. He did.
But you know what?
Punk did everything. And I'm not even a Punk fan per se. I will just say that he did everything he said he was going to do. Every time he went out there.
Yeah. Sure. Agreed. Here's the thing, Jess. At the end of the day, all of the scrutiny, all of this bullshit that he went through is why people would randomly, cheer CM Punk on a fucking SmackDown taping. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? He's not your fucking savior. He's not coming back, right? But that's why they cheered it, because they wanted that savior so bad. They wanted something. They knew this guy realized that it was horseshit and he could change it, or at least he would try to change it, or he would call it out.
I think
in the
even when
least.
wrestling fans like try to think they're being smarter than the actual script, or being
they
when they
chant
think
CM
they're
Punk.
being real, part of it always is in fantasy, right? I think everybody that ever chanted his name well after he left, when you didn't think he was coming back, well after he left, and they were still chanting it, they know I'm being smart. I know what's real, but inside they're like, but I hope in fantasy he comes back. Like they just want,
You really did
they
hope.
want that storyline. They want that Austin storyline to come back. They do.
But here's the deal. Because of that, when he, and I'll say when he actually does, which will be after the 31st.
Whatever
of
you say,
December,
go on.
But when he actually does, it will blow up. I mean, this is a thing where it's one of those unintentional things that Vince, and you can now say Triple H or Stephanie, never intended on. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't think that it would blow up to this kind of momentum. But it's funny because they're so far in it, they don't realize how fucking dynamite, just how TNT something like CM Punk was to the culture of wrestling, because it was.
And
it
Triple
was the
H
establishment.
lived
It was
through the
closest to Stone
Attitude
Cold.
Era. Like what's amazing to me is he was right there on
Yeah.
ground zero, and then by the time Punk did the shoot interview in 2011,
He was
and
so
got
far
hot,
gone from
they
it.
still were like, let's overbook it. Let's overthink it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, you know, Punk is gonna come back, and it's gonna get great ratings, and you're probably gonna see some pay-per-view charts that you've never seen. You'll see the network take a huge spike, you know, for that first month when he does do it. If he comes in surprise at Royal Rumble, the next 2 pay-per-views are gonna be huge for the network. But you know, the only thing that matters is that Jess will be drinking a shoey. And as always, you can reach us via Instagram at
We'll see on the
O.W.P
31st.
SoundCloud at Our Wrestling Podcast, YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, or do the easy thing, download WrestlePost, an app at no charge to you, and join us along with other great podcasts of the day. This is Dave and Jess and a ghosted cuz doing what he's doing. That's apparently better than what we're doing. Saying, OWP, have a good one.